Design principles are crucial when it comes to motion graphics. They are fundamental guidelines and concepts that help you as a designer to create aesthetically pleasing and easy to digest designs for your animations. Design is all around us, from the curve of a coffee mug to the layout of a magazine. But what makes certain designs stand out while others fade into the background? It all comes down to how we use elements like lines, shapes, forms, text, and colors. In this video, we'll uncover the foundational principles of design that turn ordinary compositions into extraordinary ones, giving you the skills to create with confidence and style. In every great design, there's a powerful force that guides your eyes, your thoughts, and your emotions. It's the element that immediately draws you in, making you pause and take notice. We're talking about emphasis, the invisible hand that orchestrates the entire visual experience. Repetition, contrast, and white space are just a few methods designers use to draw attention to specific elements. Let's take a closer look at each of these techniques to understand how they work. Repeating elements in a design can create a sense of cohesion and harmony. When you introduce repetition, you build a visual pattern that can serve as a consistent backdrop or emphasize a specific theme. It's a technique that helps unify different parts of a design, making it easier for the viewer to understand the overall message. Contrast is a fundamental concept in design that involves creating visual differences between elements to make them stand out. This technique adds depth, interest, and focus to a design. By using contrasting elements such as colors, shapes, textures, and sizes, designers can draw attention to specific components and create a dynamic composition. A great example of contrast in a popular media poster is the promotional artwork for Stranger Things. The title is written in bold, bright red letters, immediately drawing the eye. This vivid red stands out against the predominantly dark background, which features deep blues and blacks. The stark contrast not only highlights the show's title, but also sets the eerie, mysterious tone for the series. White space or negative space refers to any part of a design that is left empty without text, images, or other visual elements. Designers use white space strategically to create separation, enhance readability, and draw attention to specific elements. White space plays a crucial role in making a design feel clean and organized. It gives visual elements room to breathe, preventing the layout from becoming cluttered or overwhelming. By incorporating ample white space, designers can guide the viewer's focus to the most important parts of the design. Proportion in design refers to the relative sizes and quantities of various elements within a composition, ensuring a balanced and harmonious outcome. Consider a design featuring a tree and a bird. If the bird is much larger than the tree, it disrupts the natural sense of scale, causing confusion and making the composition look awkward. The disproportionate size relationship might suggest that the bird is an entirely different species, or the bird is very close to the viewer. Balance is a crucial concept in design that involves positioning elements in a way that creates a sense of equilibrium. Proper balance ensures that a design feels stable and visually harmonious. There are different types of balance that can be used depending on the desired effect. Symmetrical balance is when design elements are arranged evenly on both sides, creating a mirror-like effect that gives a sense of stability and order. A classic example of symmetrical balance is the Gucci logo, where the mirrored G's on either side create perfect symmetry. This type of balance is often associated with harmony, structure, and predictability, offering a sense of security to the viewer. Asymmetrical balance, in contrast, involves arranging elements in a way that isn't identical on both sides, but still feels balanced. A well-known example of asymmetrical balance is Van Gogh's The Starry Night. In this painting, there's no mirror-like symmetry, yet the composition achieves a sense of harmony through the distribution of colours, shapes, and movement. The large swirling patterns on one side are balanced by smaller stars and subtle colours on the other, creating an engaging yet balanced visual experience. Understanding these forms of balance helps designers create visually compelling and harmonious compositions. Movement in design is about storytelling without words. It creates a sense of progression, guiding viewers through a visual narrative. By strategically positioning elements, using lines to suggest direction, and employing contrast to highlight key areas, designers can create compelling visuals that captivate and engage the audience. A classic example of movement is the book cover for The Grapes of Wrath, an American realist novel by John Steinbeck, published in 1939. On this cover, you see a farmer standing with his family, all gazing towards the horizon. This depiction of the characters looking off into the distance naturally leads our eyes to follow their gaze. The viewer is subtly encouraged to explore the same horizon, wondering what lies beyond, what possibilities or challenges might await. The placement of the characters and the vast open space in front of them creates a sense of direction and anticipation. Alignment is about creating order and coherence within a design. Whether you align elements to the edges, center them, or relate them to each other on specific axes, this principle ensures a clean, structured layout. It helps to convey a sense of professionalism and makes the design more visually pleasing and easier to understand. Alignment determines how elements relate to each other and to the overall layout. It can involve positioning objects along the edges of a page or centering them. We've covered several design principles in this session. Before long, they will become intuitive as you incorporate them into your own projects. But until then, we'll provide a quick recap of the concepts you've explored today. Emphasis is the technique of drawing attention to specific parts of a design, often using contrast, boldness, or placement to highlight key areas. Repetition involves repeating specific design elements to create consistency and rhythm, enhancing visual cohesion. Contrast uses differences in color, size, or texture to make certain elements stand out and add visual interest. White space or negative space is the empty area around design elements, providing breathing room and reducing clutter. Proportion focuses on the relative sizes of components, ensuring that each element maintains a logical scale in relation to others. Balance refers to the visual equilibrium within a design, achieved through symmetrical or asymmetrical distribution of elements. Movement guides the viewer's eye through the design, creating a sense of flow and direction. Alignment ensures that design elements are positioned in a consistent and orderly manner, creating a structured and cohesive composition. That's a wrap on today's design principles. Keep practicing, and soon these concepts will be a natural part of your creative process. Have you ever been captivated by a stunning piece of art and wondered how the colors seem to blend effortlessly? The secret behind those eye-catching visuals isn't just artistic intuition. It's a well-established framework known as color theory. In this video, we'll explore the principles of the color wheel and discover how artists use specific patterns, called color harmonies, to create balanced and visually pleasing combinations. Through these color harmonies, you can set the mood, convey emotions, and even give your artwork a sense of context and depth. Without them, art can either feel dull and lifeless or so chaotic that it's hard to grab the viewer's attention. By the end of this guide, you'll understand how to make colours work for you, ensuring that your creations not only look great, but also connect with your audience on a deeper level. Let's take a step back to the basics. Remember when you learned about primary, secondary, and tertiary colours in school? The primary colours, red, blue, and yellow, are the building blocks for all other colours. By combining these in different ways, you get the secondary colours, green, orange, and purple. Mixing primary and secondary colours leads to tertiary colours like yellow-green, red-orange, and others. The traditional colour wheel, created by Sir Isaac Newton, visually represents these relationships and shows how colours work together. Although artists and designers have developed more complex colour wheels to illustrate a broader spectrum of hues, the traditional colour wheel remains a fundamental tool for understanding colour harmony. Colours on our colour wheel have four main qualities. The first is hue, which represents the basic identity of a colour and its location on the wheel. Hue is the purest form of a colour, and our wheel typically displays 12 primary hues, but it can also accommodate the various shades in between. Next is a saturation, also known as intensity or chroma. This measures how vibrant or muted a colour is. A highly saturated colour is vivid and intense, while a desaturated one tends to look dull. Then there's value, which tells us how light or dark a colour is. You can darken a colour, creating a shade, by adding black, or lighten it, creating a tint, by adding white. Adding grey results in a tone which falls somewhere in between. Finally, we have temperature, which describes whether a colour feels warm or cool. The colour wheel can be split into two sections: warm colours like reds and yellows, and cool colours like blues and greens. However, individual hues can shift in temperature depending on their undertones. A red with a hint of yellow appears warm, while one with a touch of blue feels cooler. By combining hue, saturation, value, and temperature, we get a vast array of colour variations derived from our 12 primary hues. With these four qualities in mind, you can use the colour wheel and some simple formulas to create a wide range of colour combinations that are balanced, harmonious, and visually appealing. So how do you create great colour combinations? It starts with the 12 basic hues on the colour wheel, but the real magic happens when you use simple formulas known as colour harmonies. These harmonies offer endless possibilities for mixing and matching colours to create visually appealing designs that just work. The most straightforward colour harmony is the monochromatic scheme. This involves using just one base colour, then playing with its different shades, tones, and tints to build a cohesive palette. It's the simplest way to create a clean, organised look. Next, let's talk about the complementary colour scheme. This harmony uses two colours from opposite sides of the colour wheel, like red and green, or blue and orange. It's fantastic for creating strong contrasts that make your visuals stand out. A twist on this is the split complementary scheme. Instead of just using two opposing colours, you take one of them and split it into the two hues next to its complement. This gives you the contrast of complementary colours, but adds more variety to the mix. The triadic colour scheme uses 3 colours evenly spaced around the wheel, forming a triangle. This approach is often bold and vibrant, perfect for creating lively and balanced designs. For a more complex palette, the tetradic colour scheme is your best bet. It uses 4 colours forming a rectangle on the colour wheel. Essentially, you're combining 2 complementary pairs. To keep things from getting chaotic, it's best to focus on one dominant colour and use the others as accents. Lastly, the analogous colour scheme. This one involves 2 to 4 colours that are next to each other on the colour wheel. It's one of the easiest and most harmonious approaches. It works well when you choose one dominant colour and let the others support it. These different colour harmonies are excellent tools for creating balanced and appealing designs. You can further refine your colour combinations by adjusting the shades, tones, and tints within each palette, providing you with a near-endless range of options. It might seem overwhelming at first, but once you start experimenting, you'll quickly develop an intuition for what looks good and what doesn't. Here are a few tips to help you get started. First, pick one dominant colour. This will create balance and cohesion in your design. You can use the colour harmony formulas to find complementary or contrasting colours that work as accents or for smaller details. Second, keep it simple. Adding too many colours can quickly make your design feel cluttered and overwhelming. Limiting yourself to a few key colours creates a cleaner, more focused look. Finally, don't be afraid to use pre-made colour palettes for inspiration. Colour theory can help you understand the basics, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can use platforms such as Adobe Color to get inspiration or help you with picking a colour theme. It is a free online tool for photographers, designers, and visual creators. It also gives you the power to extract a beautiful colour theme from any image you choose. You can find colour palettes inspired by nature or popular designs, providing a starting point for your creativity. Choosing great colour combinations doesn't have to be hard. By using these tools and formulas, you can challenge yourself to be more creative and bring your designs to life in new and exciting ways. The meaning behind colours is one of the most critical aspects of design. A lot of people don't realise that each colour has a specific meaning and evokes particular emotions, whether we're aware of it or not. Red, for instance, is a powerful and dynamic hue associated with strong emotions such as love, passion, and excitement, as well as signals of danger and urgency. Orange symbolises enthusiasm, creativity, and vitality, often evoking feelings of happiness and excitement. Yellow is a bright and cheerful colour, often associated with happiness, positivity, and energy. It symbolises sunshine, warmth, and optimism, evoking feelings of joy and cheerfulness. Black is a powerful and versatile colour, often associated with sophistication, elegance, and formality. It signifies authority, strength, and mystery, commonly used in fashion and design, to convey a sense of luxury and exclusivity. Green is a colour widely associated with nature, symbolising growth, renewal, and harmony. It evokes feelings of tranquility, balance, and calmness, often linked to health and well-being. Blue is a calming and serene colour, often associated with stability, trust, and tranquility. It evokes feelings of peace and relaxation, making it a popular choice for promoting calmness and reliability. Purple is a colour often associated with luxury, nobility, and spirituality. It combines the stability of blue and the energy of red, evoking a sense of mystery, creativity, and grandeur. And lastly, white is a colour often associated with purity, simplicity, and innocence. It symbolises cleanliness, clarity, and new beginnings, evoking feelings of peace and serenity. Beyond individual meanings, colours can also be classified as warm or cool. Warm colours include red, orange, and yellow, evoking feelings of warmth and energy. Cool colours like blue, purple, and some greens bring a sense of calm and relaxation. But you can shift a colour's warmth or coolness by adjusting its mix of yellow and blue. For example, a green with more yellow will feel warmer, while one with more blue leans towards a cooler turquoise. Understanding the meanings behind colours helps you make informed decisions about your designs, ensuring they resonate with your audience on a deeper level. These associations influence our emotions and reactions, so by choosing the right colors, you can set the tone, create mood, and even influence behavior without saying a word. The 12 principles of animation were first laid out by Disney animators Ollie Johnston and Frank Thomas in their influential book, The Illusion of Life, published in 1981. In this seminal work, Johnston and Thomas examined the techniques used by Disney's top animators from the 1930s, and they distilled their insights into 12 key principles. These principles have since become the foundational guidelines for anyone involved in animation. They are widely recognized for their relevance in a variety of fields, not just in animating characters, but also in motion design, including text animations, brand logos, and even user interfaces. Understanding these principles can significantly improve the quality of your animation work. To help you grasp these concepts, let's take a closer look at some examples and see how these principles are applied to make animation more dynamic and engaging. The first principle is squash and stretch. This technique creates the illusion of weight and volume as objects move, achieved by expanding and compressing shapes. It's considered one of the most critical principles because it provides a tangible sense of gravity, adding realism to character movement. When applied correctly, squash and stretch can make actions feel more dynamic and grounded in a physical space. The second principle is anticipation, which serves to prepare the audience for an upcoming action. By introducing a smaller movement before a major one, animators can signal that something big is about to happen. This cues the audience to pay attention and builds a sense of excitement. The third principle is follow through and overlapping action. This concept reflects the reality that when something in motion comes to a stop, not everything halts simultaneously. This principle adds realism and adheres to the laws of physics. The fourth principle is arcs. In real life, most movements follow a slightly curved trajectory, not a perfectly straight line. This principle is crucial for creating natural animation. The fifth principle is slow in and slow out. This concept is also known as ease in and ease out. It captures the idea that movement tends to start and end gradually rather than abruptly. The sixth principle is timing. It refers to the number of frames used to depict a specific action, which in turn dictates its speed and rhythm. By manipulating timing, animators can make an action appear slower and smoother by using more frames or faster and snappier with fewer frames. If you're totally new to the word frames, I will quickly explain. A frame in motion graphics and animation refers to one of the many still images that compose a video or animation. Frames are displayed in rapid succession to create the illusion of motion. You will see this in action when we delve into the After Effects program. The seventh principle is secondary action. These are additional movements that aren't the main focus, but contribute to the overall storytelling and character development. The eighth principle is exaggeration. This involves presenting an action in a way that amplifies its impact, either for comedic or dramatic effect. Exaggeration takes a normal movement or expression and pushes it to an extreme to drive home a point while still maintaining believability. The ninth principle of animation is staging, which focuses on directing the audience's attention to the most important elements in a scene. It's all about composition, ensuring that viewers know where to look and can easily understand what's happening. The 10th principle involves two distinct animation techniques: straight ahead action and pose to pose. I will now go over this, but you don't need to worry about this principle too much at this time, as this is for animators who want to draw frame by frame action. As we are focusing on creating animations using assets in After Effects, we will not need to do any frame by frame drawing that requires this. It's still good to know this principle, as you may want to add frame by frame work into your portfolio further down the line if it interests you. Straight ahead action involves drawing each frame sequentially from start to finish, allowing for fluid, spontaneous animation. This approach is great for fast-paced or chaotic scenes where continuity is key. Pose to pose, on the other hand, starts with drawing the beginning and end keyframes, then drawing the middle and continuing to fill in the frames in between. This technique is better suited for dramatic or emotional scenes where capturing the essence of an idea is more important than maintaining a fluid flow. Pose to pose allows for more precise control over timing and choreography. The 11th principle is solid drawing, which is all about ensuring that animated forms appear to exist in a three-dimensional space, even when presented in a two-dimensional medium. The 12th and final principle is appeal. This principle is about creating characters and scenes that are visually interesting and engaging to the audience. It's about making animation compelling, whether through character design, personality, or unique visual elements. Appeal is what makes viewers connect with characters and feel drawn into the story. And there you have it, the 12 principles of animation. By understanding and applying these guidelines, you can bring your animations to life with more depth, realism, and emotional impact. Whether you're animating characters, text, or logos, these principles are the foundation of creating compelling and captivating animations. In the next chapters, we will be diving into the world of After Effects to learn how to create beautiful visuals and animations.